So here's what the Chiefs have done after they lost in the 2021 Super Bowl. They signed their left guard, Joe Thuney, to a 5-year, $80 million deal. They traded in 2021 first, third, and fourth round pick for the Ravens left tackle Orlando Brown, and they drafted their center Creed Humphrey in the second round and right guard Trey Smith in the sixth round. Mm-hmm. So they made a concerted effort to address the O-line, and we had Big Ray on yesterday. We were talking about that. He talked about their guards and center and how much credit they deserve.
Especially in the middle, the sacks come off the second move. If you're not Aaron Donald or Chris Johnson, like normally the sacks are coming off your second move as a defensive tackle. Well, the guards and the centers were doing a good job of shutting it down the entire length of the pass play. So it seemed like he was back there forever, having time to run. So I was super impressed by it. It was so impressive because I kept waiting for Riddick. I'm like, he's going to do something right here. He's going to force a fumble. But it's a great battle by the Chiefs offensive line.
Alex Gibbs is a coach that was here for a little while and actually is kind of the running guru. He's the offensive line coach that Mark Schlereth had in Denver.
Oh, in Denver.
Yeah.
Okay. Was he with Washington? I thought I'm thinking of Joe Gibbs, obviously.
Joe Gibbs, yeah. Alex Gibbs was, I don't know if he was there. I don't think so. But then when he came to Denver, but one of his sayings was, you know what? Give me a tackle. You can get a bum off the highway to play guard or whatever. And it was just kind of a little joke. But I'd say the one thing that's really encouraging for the Seahawks, another, one little area, you got two tackles that are young and played really well.
Very excited about those two.
Yeah. So, and those are the harder players to find.
Right.
And guards and look, if you have like a solid center or a really solid guard, yeah, it's huge. But the tackles are just so much more important. So having that out of the way, I feel like between who they have, whether it's Phil Haynes, who they pick or who they get in free agency, they can put together. Look, I'll just take 4/5. Okay, say, hey, we're solid at 4. Maybe the one guard, or maybe the center is a little bit shaky. Maybe they re-sign Austin Blythe and, just say, hey, we're going to get 2 big guards to help him out, and as Ray always talks about. But I think the good news is that you got those 2 tackles, and they look very promising.
Yeah. I'm excited about what those 2 are going to be. My concerns are what's inside of them. Mm-hmm. And, Ray addressed this as well, just talking about kind of the point that gets proven every year in the Super Bowl and just the value of your O-line.
Every playoffs, it proves that, man, if you don't invest in your offensive line and if they don't show up in those meaningful moments, then you're not going to go anywhere. And they showed up last night for a team. They were playing against a defense that had 4 guys with 10-plus sacks. Riddick had 2.5 or 3 sacks coming into this game with a forced fumble. You had over 70 sacks in the regular season as a team. So I thought that offensive line did a spectacular job of keeping the pocket as clean as possible. And then, obviously Mahomes, even on his, bad ankle, made some plays to not get sacked as well. So I thought they did a spectacular job.
Who was it that kept calling Mahomes Gumby? Was that Terry Bradshaw or was it Boomer?
I don't know.
Chris Berman. Anyway, it does help that you have him back there and that he's pretty creative.
That's a little bit of a help, yeah.
Patrick Mahomes, yeah. But, I thought Geno did a good job in the pocket. He's not Aaron Rodgers. He's not, Russell Wilson or anything like that, but he did a good job of throwing under pressure. There was a couple of times where one was a touchdown to Will Dissly against the Broncos where he got hit as he was throwing. And, it's kind of like when you get a real pesky guy to put him on Michael Jordan and he's just constantly hand checking him and touching him and that's hard to concentrate when that stuff is going on. And when you're getting hit and it's constantly the pocket's getting collapsed and you're still able to deliver the throw, I'd say that's the one talent that Geno has that might be better than Patrick Mahomes. But Patrick Mahomes obviously just magical when it comes to finding an area and then throwing the ball any way possible that he can.
Yeah, people texting in the kicker and punter for the Seahawks have the advantage over the...
Oh, gee, thanks for that.
And another one basically saying they don't have the advantage anywhere. So on the O-line, they were talking about the O-line and what the Chiefs have done and where the Seahawks are currently at.
Anywhere on the O-line or just anywhere?
O-line.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And part of that is you got two rookies who are growing into their spots, and they played really well this year. Not
Right.
mistake-free, but they played really darn well. And I'm the biggest critic of the O-line out there, and I was really pleased with what they did this year. Now, I've got a different opinion on Austin Blythe than you do, and I think we'll find out how they feel about him. He's out there to be had. He signed a one-year deal, so do they bring him back, or do they go, all right, let's address this in a different way? Do they do it in the draft? We'll figure out what they do. But I didn't love him. Gabe Jackson, for me, has been a bit disappointing since he's been here. I think he's had moments where he's looked pretty decent, but a lot of moments you're going, I'm not seeing the guy that was so highly touted coming out of Oakland. We were hearing about him being one of the best guards in the league, and I don't feel like that's happened here in Seattle. And I think Lewis had a better year than he had the previous year. I wouldn't say it was a standout. He hasn't quite lived up to what I think we thought we were going to see after his rookie year. We're both so excited, and then he made the switch, and we kind of qualify. All right, he made the switch. It was harder than we thought. And then this year I thought he was okay. I didn't think he was great. I didn't think he was terrible. I thought he was okay.
Yeah. It's just so hard to judge those guys. Like, what is it that makes you think that? I mean, it just kind of, as the season goes, you sort of little things creep in. You don't see anything spectacular from him. You see pressure. Yeah, just, I don't know. I guess I just, in general, feel like that's the way, though, that they could upgrade the most.
Yeah.
Is that, and I just saw a lot of really promising, cool things, and checked with Ray on the offensive tackles especially. And there's a couple of plays that he's like, yeah, I saw that, man. It was a great adjustment by him, and but there's not that same excitement when you talk about the guards. Early on, I thought Austin Blythe was so smart that you have to have him because he does a really good job of helping Gino with the fronts and everything. And maybe they can keep him if they get two big, nasty guards.
Yeah.